Alright guys, so we're back at my workbench. My battery went dead, I apologize for that. So to recap, I went to a 220, I put the die cam on both sides. And the reason for that was so that I could use it as a guide coat and it would show me the low spots as I took light passes through. Now you might notice something a little different than what my original scribe was, and there's a very important reason to that. Is the height of my grind line. So originally the height of my grind line, I scribed it here. That doesn't mean that's where it was going to end up on this particular blade. When I looked at numerous exemplars of this style blade, usually a full flat grind up to here with a small the ricasso coming up to right about here, maybe a little bit lower, maybe a little bit higher. My goal was not to break this barrier right here. I did not want to bring it all the way through like a boo-boo. Let's see, a mistake that I had on a little knife that I made. I saved my walls. I show my failures too. You see this one right here where I blew through the top? That's bad. Don't do that. And then any knife you make, you should make it. I made sure that I took my time to make sure that the blade was actually center here. Some knives you can see they'll go off one side or another. You know, that's why I didn't use a brand new aggressive belt in the beginning. This allows me some room to etch my logo right here as well. And so now I'm gonna have to hand sand it. I'll put this in my hand sanding jig. I'll define this ricasso a little bit better, blend this up to the top, blend this up to the top, and do the same thing. You guys don't really need to see that. I mean, maybe I'll do a short video for you guys just to show you what it is I'm talking about and what kind of jig or sanding block that I use. But the most important thing I want you guys to take away from this is that flat is key. When you're doing this, as long as you come off of that grinder, it's going to take some time, but as long as you come off of that grinder flat, meaning no striations, undulations, or bad juju going on in your grind, your hand sand is going to go really smooth and real easy. It's not going to be a problem whatsoever. So keep that in mind, okay? And don't be scared. Don't be scared. Don't be worried if your grind is... I mean, my grinds aren't perfect. I'm by no means perfect. I'm not editing them for the video. I'm showing you, you know, the actual blade I started with and where I ended up with, and in this way we all know I'm not trying to build my ego. I'm trying to show you guys that you can do it. It's just certain steps involved. There's always going to be a little difference in your grind until you get perfect, and I only freehand. I don't use jigs. I don't believe in jigs. Yeah, your fingers going to get a little burned. You're not going to really get hurt unless you jam your knuckle right into the belt. When you're heat treating, when you're grinding a heat treated blade, you want to go ahead and make sure that you keep it cool and you use a coarser belt. I use a 50. I actually use a 36 a lot of times, but that's serious road rash if you make a mistake. Because the coarser the belt, the cooler it'll be. And when you get up to higher belts like the 220, it's going to get hot really fast. Your knuckles are going to get a little bit burned. You're going to feel the sparks on it. You're going to feel the heat. It is what it is. Don't wear gloves. Do not wear gloves because you won't be able to feel the heat and you'll ruin the temper in your blade. So next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take a jig that was made. One of my friends, he actually made it for me for a gift for heat treating a bunch of his blades. It's right here. This is in the vise. Tape sandpaper to it. And then I just work that ricasso area, work that blade area, get that all squared away and nice. But even though I brought it up to 220, guess what? I got to bring it back down to 120 and work my way back up to 400 for the hand sand. And then I'll etch this blade and stone wash it, because it's 1084 and I like to basically use that as a corrosion inhibitor at some, you know, for the blade itself. And it's kind of with the look that I'm going for. Start making knives and keep making those knives and save them whether they're good or not. I mean, I got a knife I learned to hollow grind on. Let's see, I learned to hollow grind on this blank. This is one of my friend's designs or whatever, but he brought it over to teach me how to hollow grind, and it started out this big and it was all messed up, And then I just did a flat grind to try to push it out, to try to do anything, because I was practicing sharpening on the grinder. So don't throw your stuff out, because it's a reminder of where you've been and where you're going. Another good thing is it's always nice to have a shop knife lying around that you don't give a hoot about. Alright, with that said, guys, have a good one. Thanks for watching. Hope this helped a little bit.